front-end development is changing rapidly. And if you're still following the same learning path from years ago, you're already behind. But don't worry, this video will give you the exact roadmap to master front-end development in 2025. You'll learn the most relevant skills, the latest trends, and the common mistakes to avoid. So, let's get started. Step 1. The foundations. First and foremost, no matter how much front-end development changes, mastering the fundamentals remains crucial. However, in 2025, these fundamentals come with new enhancements. Let's start with HTML and CSS. While they are essential, modern CSS introduces new features that you must learn to stay ahead. For example, container queries, CSS nesting, and grid level 3 are becoming industry standards. And also, utility-first styling, like Tailwind CSS, is dominating the workflow, making traditional CSS methodologies less relevant as much as before. Staying on foundations, let's move on to JavaScript. This language continues to change every time. And in 2025, it's not just about knowing the basics, but also about mastering the latest ES 2025 features, such as the new improvements in async handling and immutable arrays, which make JavaScript more powerful than ever. And additionally, writing framework-ready JavaScript is essential, especially if you plan to work with React, Solid.js, or Quick. Now that we've covered the foundations everyone should know, let's move on to the most debated topic, choosing the right framework. Step 2. Picking your framework, React, or something new. At this stage, many beginners struggle with selecting the best front-end framework. And in 2025, React continues to be the dominant choice for new learners, but new competitors are rising. React remains the most widely used framework, but on the other hand, some alternatives like Solid.js and Quick offer better performance, making them viable choices for the future. So, what's the best approach? If you're just starting out, it would be better if you focus on React first, as it still dominates the job market needs. Then, explore newer frameworks to stay ahead of industry trends. So, you are learning the market needs and at the same time exploring new things that could be needed in future. Step 3. Now that you've picked your framework, it's time to focus on something just as important, which is how your application looks and feels. Because let's be honest, a great user experience isn't just about functionality, it's also about design. So, how do you make sure your UI stands out in 2025? First, let's talk about styling. Gone are the days of writing long and complicated CSS files. Instead, utility-first frameworks like Tailwind CSS are dominating the industry. And it's not just because they're trendy. Tailwind speeds up development and keeps your styles consistent across large projects. But using Tailwind alone isn't enough. You also need to think about design systems. If you've ever struggled with keeping your components reusable and scalable, learning tools like Storybook and Radix UI will completely change how you build interfaces. Step 4. Now that we've covered everything to become a front-end developer in 2025, let's talk about something that will really set you apart from others, which is a back-end knowledge. You might be thinking, but I'm a front-end developer. Why should I care about back-end? Well, the truth is, in 2025, having a basic understanding of back-end concepts will make you more valuable and give you a competitive edge. Think about it. Front-end developers who understand how data works, how it's fetched, and how it's stored can build more dynamic and interactive websites. And this will really help you build a strong portfolio and get out of competition. So, if you follow these steps, you'll be well ahead of most front-end developers in 2025. And I didn't talk about other technologies like Git and GitHub because, in my opinion, I think they're still the same and no need to talk about them in this video. But if you have a different idea, let me know in the comments.